Hi everyone. We are going to talk about in this video about capturing attachments which you have received on email, especially if you have a shared mailbox. For example, if you have an expenses mailbox and all your employees do send their expenses receipts on that particular shared mailbox, and how do you upload those documents to a SharePoint Document Library? So you can upload it to a SharePoint Document Library, or even you can upload it to your OneDrive. So let's get on with this particular demo. Okay, so the very first step is creating your shared mailbox. So go to your Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and under Teams and Groups you have an option called Shared Mailbox. So click on Add a Shared Mailbox and let's type in email demo. Okay, once you type out of it, it will recognize what you have typed and it will just create a email address. You can go ahead and modify this, but I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I click on Save Changes. Now what is going to happen is it is going to create this particular mailbox, and it will say your shared mailbox was created. You can go ahead and try to add a member to this one. So click on Add Members, and I'm going to select my name over here and click on Add that member. So once it's added, it should give me a confirmation that it has been added. So this member has been added. You click on Close, and if you refresh this, you should see your new shared mailbox created. So for my document library, I have something like this. It's just an expense receipts document library. And what we are going to do is we are going to upload whatever we receive into this particular document library. So let's go to your Power Automate screen, and under My Flows, go ahead and click on New Flow and click on Automated Cloud Flow, because we are going to run this flow as soon as an email arrives in your shared mailbox. Okay, so first we have to define what will trigger this flow. So let's look at, say, email, and you have to look at when a new email arrives in a shared mailbox. Okay, so click on it and let's give it a name, say shared email attachment flow. Okay, and let's click on create. So on this one, you have to first define on which shared email box are you going to receive that email on. So click on email demo, and it should pop up this one. So click on that, and yeah, I want to run it on inbox. And when you go to the advanced options, I'm going to say only when there are attachments. Okay, and I'm just going to leave everything else blank. So the next step is I want to make sure that so the next step is we have to go through all the attachments, because an employee can send multiple email receipts to this mailbox. So what we need to do is we are going to call an action called get attachment and select this get attachment. In ID of the mail, you have to select the message ID from your first trigger when a new email arrives in a shared mailbox. So select message ID, and which attachment are we going to look at? So let's go ahead and click on attachments, attachment ID, and just notice that it realizes that there could be multiple attachments in this mailbox, and Power Automate will create this as a loop. So it will apply this condition to all the attachments which you're going to receive. Okay, so you click on this, and you have to also again specify what the original mailbox address was. So I'm just again going to say email demo, and click on it. Now the next step is we have to make sure that it is coming from internal email addresses, because you don't want someone to send who doesn't belong to your organization to send emails to this shared mailbox. So we can put this thing where we say condition, and in the condition we are going to say from, and I'm going to say ends with, and my company's email address over here. Okay, so once that is done, so once we have verified that, we also want to make sure that it's either a PDF document or say a Word document, because there could be a scenario where you might be getting an email from say one of the retailers, or because nowadays if you go to Walmart or Staples, they will ask you whether you want to send these receipts by email or something like that. So sometimes it will have their logo with it, so it comes as an attachment. So you want to make sure that only a PDF document or say a Word document gets uploaded. So we are going to put another condition over here, and what we are going to do is condition, and we get on the get attachments, click on name of the attachment and ends with say .pdf, and then we are going to add one more row over here, and this is going to be a or condition where again the name ends with .docx. So either it's a Word document or a PDF, and you could add more like Excel and all those things, but right now we are just going to stick to PDF and docx. So then now the only last step is now we have to create a file in our SharePoint Document Library. So let's click on add an action, and we are going to search for create file. As I mentioned earlier, you could create this file on OneDrive for Business, but we are just going to we are going to create this file on a SharePoint Document Library. So click on create file, and then I'm going to select the site where I need to store it, which is my HR site. And if you look at the folder path, there is a document library called expense receipts. Now for the name of the file, I'm just going to go with what I found in the get attachment action, which is over here, and the final step is use the content bytes. So what I found out is, especially in the PDF scenarios, if you use the original attachments content from when a new email arrives in shared mailbox, I've seen sometimes it gets corrupted. So that's the reason I have created this action for get attachment. So I'm going to use this content bytes, and that's about it. So click on save, and it will say whether everything is ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new email. So here is what I've done. I have created this for an email demo at wingatesolutions.com, and I'm sending in Jose Vapor AI discussion meeting which we had, and a parking pass from at a client location. So these are the two items which I'm going to send in, and I'm going to say expense receipts as my subject. Okay, and I click on send, and now I'm going to wait over here. Let's refresh this. So it is going to take a few minutes for this thing to run. Notice over here, right now my workflow has ran and it has succeeded. So if you go in over here and click on this, it will say, okay, email demo, and it was in the inbox, apply to each. So if you notice over here, for some reason, it's picking up 4 attachments. So if you look at the first one, it's basically the Jose Vapor AI discussion.pdf. If you look at the next one, it is the parking.pdf. If you keep on looking at the next one, as I said, it also pulled up the logo, the Wingate logo. I don't know what this fourth one is. I think there were two logos on my thing. One was the Microsoft partnership logo and one was the Wingate logo. So once that is done, if you look at the very first one, which was the Jose paper AI discussion, let's look at what it did over here. So if you remember, it looked at whether the email which was received was from, say, Wingate Solutions, so it's true. The next thing is whether it was a PDF or a Word document. Yeah, it's true. Then it gets into the HR side and it will upload this document. So if you go back to this document library, you will notice that those two documents are uploaded now over here. You can click on Jose paper AI discussion and it is going to show you the receipt, and also the parking thing is uploaded over here. So in this particular demo, what we did was we showed you how you can utilize Power Automate to capture attachments from a shared mailbox and upload it to a SharePoint document library. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe to our channel for more videos in the future.